With a possible gap in the weather and Lockie's freshly solid axle swapped Zook finally on the road, a plan was hatched. An overnighter in the Canterbury high country. This time we set off at a slightly more relaxed pace, just keen to get out of the city and spend a weekend hanging out with some good friends. And for Lockie, this was a perfect chance to give his new build a proper shakedown. But it wouldn't be a true shakedown if something didn't go wrong.
The one Suzuki part that's left on this truck may be making some horrible noises.
Once again, we're kicking this adventure off at one of our regular air down spots, Lake Georgina. With a fair few kilometres of gravel road ahead, it's the perfect place to drop the tyre pressures and take in some pretty stunning views while we're at it. Kia ora guys, good morning, welcome back to the channel. It's a beautiful day to be in the mountains, tipping down in Christchurch, but somehow the weather's actually better up in the mountains. It's not meant to stay that way, it's going to be a wet weekend, so we're going to enjoy the sun while it lasts. We're heading up into the mountains for just a bit of chill wheeling. We've got myself in the beta truck, we've got Lockie, who you guys all know usually drives the yellow Zook. He's finally got his sassed Vitara out of the shed. First time on the channel, and then Brendan in his Prado, who you've also seen on the channel now and then. So 3 trucks, it's going to be a mint weekend. So Lockie has recently finished building his Vitara. I'll show you guys the full walkthrough of it a little bit later in the video because it is a cool build. But this is just a bit of a shakedown. It's Easter weekend. There's some terrible weather on its way, so we decided we'd pop out for an overnighter Friday, Saturday, and then get back before all the rivers come up. So yeah, should be a fun weekend. We're going to go and do a chill trip, which we've not done for quite a long time. So now that we've aired down and enjoyed the views of Lake Georgina, we're going to head up into the mountains and see how far up the valley we can get. This crossing marks the beginning of our adventure into the valley where we'll be spending the next couple of days. It's an easy one, shallow water, no current and a solid base, making for a cruisy start to the drive. Our goal was to reach the hut by lunchtime, giving us the afternoon to explore further up into the headwaters, with the hopes of finding some big rocks to play on and put the rigs to the test. The track to the hut is well worn. This valley is one of the more popular and easily accessible spots in the Canterbury high country, making for an easy drive. This weekend's not about chasing gnarly trails that you're used to seeing on my channel or ticking off nasty obstacles. It's about just getting out of the city, spending some time with some mates, camping and doing a bit of exploring. And if we come across a few fun obstacles along the way, it's even better. But really, we're just after that kind of reset that you can only get when you're away from it all. Right, so we've just been boosting along the track, not really filmed much because we're trying to get to a hut for lunch. Well, that's kind of the goal, then set up and then explore from there. So the river's pretty cruisy driving, but yeah, I just wanted to take a moment to show you guys just how beautiful this is. Just something else. Oh, it's beautiful.
How are you enjoying the day, Tim?
Oh, it's great. It's so good to be away in the mountains. It's just, yeah, really good for a bit of a reset.
Agree.
The further we pushed up the valley, the better the weather got. Despite what the forecast had predicted, the sun was out, lighting up the landscape and making the scenery even more stunning. The river was running low and the crossings were a breeze, just cold, crystal clear water and hard-packed stones beneath the tyres. Absolute magic. With the conditions being so cruisy, it wasn't long before the hut came into view. It was time to make camp. Well, fast forward probably, I don't know, half an hour, 45 minutes. Everything is all set up. Lunches are being eaten. We've got, is that Elsa?
Finding the beef bushes.
Couple swags, and then we've got the Oz tent. So all nice and ready for if it rains we can just come back and we'll already be set up. So from here we're going to push up the valley. Didn't really film too much on the way in because we're just trying to get here. And unfortunately my drone's playing up as well, so can't get any cool drone footage, so that's a bit frustrating. But anyway, we're going to go and enjoy ourselves this afternoon up the valley and see if we can find some bigger boulders and some new tracks. It is just beautiful, guys. Stunning. Anyway, we'll go see how far up the river we can get. Our goal for the afternoon was to reach the most upstream hut in this valley, another 9 kilometres from where we'd made camp. With this crossing marking the furthest upstream I'd ever been, the excitement was high as we headed into new country. Normally, the further you press up a valley, the tougher it becomes. First come the nuisance rocks, just big enough to slow you down, but not big enough to be fun. Then the valley starts to close in, the river deepens, and those rocks turn into proper boulders, the kind of terrain we're usually looking for. Before the trip, I'd done my best to scout out the valley on Google Earth, but it was hard to tell what we'd actually be in for. To our surprise, the track never really got much tougher. Sure, the valley tightened and the rocks grew in size, but the track itself might as well have been a highway. Well used and easy going, all the way to the turnaround point. While I'm certainly not complaining, I'd been quietly hoping for a bit more of a challenge. At the turnaround point, the valley quickly turned into an impassable boulder field leading into a gorge. So with less than a kilometre to the hut that we'd been aiming for, it was time to start walking. So we're about 700 metres from the final hut in this valley, and there's a walking track that takes us there. So it's about 10 to 4 now, so we're going to go for a wee wander, go check out the hut, sign our names in the hut book and cruise on back. How magic is this? Gorgeous. It was like a 10-minute walk from the trucks, if that. Wow. This is beautiful. Forgot the water else.
It's a really cool hut. 10 out of 10 would recommend. It's pretty tidy. It's got a fireplace and even a bathtub outside. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, pretty neat.
We're coming back in winter.
Alright, well that was a very enjoyable wander up into the bush. Always cool to tick off another hut. Anyway, it's getting late-ish now. Let's see, what is the time? It is 4:50, so it gets dark like 6 o'clock, 6:30, so we're probably going to be doing well to be back before dark. It'll probably be just falling dark as we arrive. So yeah, wait till everyone's back and boost back down the valley, back to camp. On the way back, a fork in the track led us up onto a small plateau overlooking the valley. The climb looked loose and flexy, so I had to give it a bit of a nudge, and that is where the problems began. With their twin lockers, well, Lockie's front locker and LSD. Anyway, that was fun. It was pretty loose. I graded it pretty well the first time and then could roll through it the second time a bit better. On the way up, Lockie noticed a strange noise coming from underneath his truck. So we went back down the hill to see if he could replicate it and hopefully figure out what was going on. There was definitely something, a grinding noise coming from the driveline, but we couldn't quite pinpoint where exactly it was coming from. With daylight fading, we decided to push on and try and make it back to camp before dark. Well, that turned out to be a very fun way to spend the afternoon. We ended up coming back right as it was getting dark. So we've gone ahead and got some dinner on the go. What have we got else?
Well, I've decided to try something new. I've never tried fried Brussels sprouts, so tonight's the night. And we've got some steaks.
Yeah, so yum. TBC.
Oh, look at that one.
I mean, if it tastes like charcoal, it's probably going to taste better than a Brussels sprout normally would. Anyway, everyone's all set up, and then I think we're going to go and have a campfire and just yeah, enjoy the evening. Highlight of the day, Els?
Probably going to Avoca Hut. and seeing how cool it would be to stay there one time.
Yep. It was a pretty neat wee spot. What do we reckon to those steaks, Chef Ilsa?
Oh, I'm so hungry. They smell so good.
They do smell pretty good. Yummy. Morning. It is a cracker morning. I thought it was going to be raining. When I woke up it was raining, but it has passed, and while I'm sure the rain's going to be back shortly, it is just beautiful now. You can see up into the headwaters it's looking pretty cloudy and grey, but got a bit of almost blue sky up there, and then it's nice and blue down there as well. So absolutely beautiful day. Oh, it's just awesome views wherever you look. Anyway, we are going to do some dishes from last night, have a bit of brekkie, and yeah, we're planning to head out today, but we're going to go and explore a couple different tracks on the way out, so should find some more interesting stuff to go wheel and cool views. Should be good.
Warm your face.
Righto, we are all packed up now, had breakfast, and we're pretty much ready to hit the tracks. But I know you all want to have a look at Lockie's rig, so Lockie's going to talk us around his truck. So, Lockie, take it away. What is it?
1996 factory diesel Vitara. I've had it for about 9 or 10 years.
Yep.
I bought it completely stock. Did the first stage of lift, you know, IFS 2-inch lift. Used it, and it just evolved. So now it's got KZJ78 front axle, LN 130 rear, 10-inch coilovers in the front.
All the goodies.
It's all custom made. Certainly wasn't easy fitting it under a Vitara, but it's under there and it works.
You want to show them under the bonnet?
Yep.
Fair bit going on.
So she's no real powerhouse, but it is the factory diesel engine that came in it, kind of. I've put a 2.2 litre block to basically give it longer stroke. And
out of a Mazda Bongo?
Yep, Mazda Bongo. And it's got 4M40 turbocharger, Kuiper repowers pump, obviously custom snorkel, airbox, exhaust.
All done by LCZ Fab.
Yep.
This man right here.
All done by me, with the LCZ Fab logo. And yeah, it got tuned at Kuiper repowers just recently. It goes pretty good.
You got your big 10-inch coilovers sticking out the top there.
Yep. So custom coilover towers, obviously strut brace. They're 10-inch pro fenders. Still working on the valving, and the same in the back. 10-inch pro fender, remote resis in the back.
And what did you say the axle was?
KZJ78.
And running a front locker?
Front locker, rear LSD. How long that's going to stay, I'm not sure.
Yep. And then all the bar work?
Yeah, so fully custom bar work, all made by myself. Etch fabrication helped do the rear bar a couple of years ago with the etching the plasma cut.
And then anomaly off-road skid plate on the tank.
Yep, anomaly off. Running 32-inch Coopers, Enkey rims, and it will run 33-inch CSTs as well.
For when you're doing the hard stuff?
Yep.
Very good. And that's pretty much it.
Yep.
An awful lot of work in 5 minutes of talking. So yeah, very cool truck. I hope you guys all enjoyed that quick walk around of it. I'm sure you'll see it on the channel a whole lot more now that it's complete and certified. How long was it off the road for?
It was off the road for a year while I procrastinated about doing it. So I put it back on the road for a year, and then it took 2 years to do the
solid axles and all that.
Swap.
Yeah. So very cool to have such a custom truck out on the tracks. And yeah, as I say, you'll see it a whole lot more. Anyway, with all that being said, let's hit the tracks. Righto, so we have gone ahead and shot back down the valley, back to where the two rivers merge, and now we're doing this fun wee track which takes us up onto the plateaus in front of us, which gives epic views looking out over the valley. So should be a fun wee drive, and after that, hopefully if the weather's still holding well, we'll go up the other river and yeah, see if we can get to the next hut. Unbelievable views. Look at that mountain range. As we began climbing, I soon noticed that I couldn't see Lockie behind me. We briefly backtracked to find Lockie parked up and under his vehicle. The noise from the day before was back, and much worse.
The one Suzuki part that's left on this truck may be making some horrible noises.
What part is that?
The transfer case. We might have to do some further diagnosis on that, I think. For now we'll just keep driving.
Hope for the best.
So that you reckon that's the noise it was making on that climb yesterday as well?
Must have been.
With something slipping in the transfer case, causing the truck to occasionally lose front drive, Lockie switched to two-wheel drive to finish the climb up the plateau, only engaging four-wheel drive where absolutely necessary. The higher we went, the rougher the track got. Thankfully it was pretty dry, meaning the clay base was nice and tacky and provided plenty of traction. Safe to say it could certainly get interesting in the wet, and I'd be very keen to give this a go with some snow on the ground. Alright, so we made it a little bit further up the valley behind me, but there was no epic view, so we kind of turned around and came to this wee bluff that we're on, and yeah, check this out guys. How good is that scenery? Such a cool view. The track itself is nice and easy because it's not really wet. I can imagine with a bit of rain that the clay that's quite tacky right now and offering a good amount of traction would just turn into grease. Yeah, oh, it's so cool. Unfortunately, Lockie is going to be bailing early because, what did you reckon exactly has happened to your transfer case there, Lockie?
I've either put a detent ball in the wrong place or it's the chain, so I'm going to go home and pull it out.
Either way it needs to come apart.
So it's going to the North Island in 2 weeks time for a 3-week trip, so I need 4-wheel drive.
Right. So to give himself a bit more time, he's going to make an early break for it, but I think we're going to still shoot up the Harper and see what we can find up there. Alright, well, then there were two. So we are going to shoot on up to we're going to shoot up to the Pinnacles, go check those out, and then head for Hamilton Hut, I believe. That's where my memory says the Pinnacles are. Righto, well they're not quite what I remember them, because I feel like they used to be a lot closer to them. It definitely looks like there's been a pretty sizable slip, but right up there it's a bunch of, I think it's limestone formations, and there's an Ilsa. Might wander up and go and have a look. As we made our way towards the last hut for the weekend, the weather started to roll in. We could see the clouds spilling over the ranges ahead. The forecast had finally caught up with us. The hut was still about 10 kilometres away, with the final stretch, the last kilometre or so, being a walking track only. Keen to beat the rain and avoid a soggy hike back to the trucks, we decided it was time to make some ground. Alright, what's the update, Els?
We're at Hamilton Hut, or a few minutes walk away, so we're going to go have a gander.
Because that sign over there says no vehicle access past there.
No, I'm not a vehicle.
So yeah, this is as far as you're allowed to come up the valley, and it looks on top of 700, 800 metres maybe to the hut. So we are going to wander up to the hut and go check it out. It's part of the TA, which is a trail that goes the full length of New Zealand walking trail. So yeah, we'll go check it out and then come back for some lunch. Yeah, dude, pretty much the only one I've seen.
Big, busy hut is definitely not 2016 or 2020 in here.
Very cool hut, really nicely maintained.
This hut book is just 2024 until now.
Yeah.
And it's nearly full. In fact, I think it might be full.
Popular hut, eh? It's always a good idea to fill out the hut book for a variety of reasons. Safety is one of them, but especially if they're lesser known huts, it shows Doc that the huts are being used. So yeah, if you're ever popping through a hut, always fill it out, and it's also quite neat to look back on when you next headed through the area. Go and find your name and work out exactly how long it was since you were last there. But yeah, show your interest and bit of safety for if things go wrong as well. It gives people an idea of your intentions. Well, that was a very enjoyable walk. Anyway, now time for some lunch. Then we can boost on out of here. So stoked with the fact the weather's held off this long. Had a little bit of rain coming in, but didn't end up being anything. Just magic. After backtracking down the valley, we eventually reached the point where the two valleys merged. Looking back towards the valley we explored the day before, we were met with a wall of cloud and rain. Safe to say, we had squeezed every last drop out of the good weather. From there, it was just a cruisy drive back towards the gravel road and the long run home. Trips like this are a good reminder. It doesn't have to be full on to be memorable. Sometimes all you need is a bit of time spent with good company in the backcountry of New Zealand. We'd had our reset, now it was time to head home and start getting ready for next weekend's mission to the coast. A trip full of hard wheeling and carnage. You won't want to miss that one. Alright, well that wraps up another video. It was an awesome trip. So stoked we got away when we did and made the most of the weather. We ended up pulling the trip forwards a day, and looking at the weather we definitely made the right decision there. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. It was a bit of a different one, a bit more touring. I've been really enjoying the touring and it's so good to get into the high country again. Hopefully we've got more of that coming this winter, but further into the mountains where the big rocks are. But yeah, to stay tuned for everything we've got coming. Make sure you hit subscribe, give us a like if you've enjoyed today's video, and leave a comment down below, let me know what you thought of it. Catch you all in the next one. Cheers guys for watching, we'll see you then.